Good evening, everybody. This is Football Fired Up, and I'm your host, shoutout. We're going to be looking at some of the results from Game Week 10, and we're going to go straight to Friday night's fixture, Crystal Palace 0, Newcastle United 2. And to introduce that, I'm going to ask Azad to speak about it.
Yeah, 2-0 Newcastle, late show. So 88th minute and a 90th minute goal. I have to say, it's quite a boring game to watch from the beginning. I did manage to catch the last 10 minutes, and great 10 minutes. I can say Callum Wilson, absolutely great signing for Newcastle, getting the goals in, especially him hooking up with Joel Linton now. Not a great start to his Newcastle career, but I can see him getting up there now, especially when he's got Callum Wilson in partnership. Unfortunately for Palace, lost a couple of games on a trot now. One against Burnley, one against Newcastle on Friday. Hopefully they get back into it. I think Wilfred Zaha has been injured for a few weeks now. So when he's back, I think Palace will be back, especially with their front four going forward.
I like what you're saying there. So did Newcastle impress you, or do you think it was just a smash and grab? And what do you think they're going to be doing going forward? Do you think they might make it to mid-table, or are they going to drop down to relegation places?
Definitely not mid-table. Definitely not mid-table. Not a relegation candidate, but probably round about mid-table. They've got a great signing in Callum Wilson, with Joel Linton and the other geezer up front. I forgot his name, if you could remind me.
Almiron?
No, dreadlocks.
Alan said Maximan.
Oh, Maximan. Oh, pace. Oh, he kills it out there. But Newcastle, they're creep up there. Steve Bruce has done a great job, and the Newcastle fans should be grateful, to be honest. So, yeah, I think mid-table, not relegation, definitely not. 100% not.
All right, brilliant. So we're going to go to the next fixture, and that is Brighton 1, Liverpool 1. Controversy surrounding this game. What was your take on it?
Wow, definitely was a penalty. Okay, so 100% penalty. I watched that game right from the beginning. But Brighton, balls over the top. They're trying to catch Liverpool out, especially with the back four at the moment. But I think that great lad, the great centre back coming in, the young lad, great, absolutely good player. I've not heard of him until this season. So I've heard of all the other Liverpool youngsters. But yeah, great. But in terms of controversy, that VAR, I don't know. In real time, it's not a penalty. But once they slow it down, that's when they get the advantage. But if you slow it down, everything looks worse. But yeah, I think Brighton deserved. Liverpool just about deserved a point out of that. They did have Lions share the possession, but Brighton did play great. I have to say, Connolly, great player. 20 years old. He's already played 103 games for Brighton, or overall his professional career. So, looking forward to what he brings.
Yeah, I like what you're saying there. I think Danny Welbeck looks like, Brighton have actually got a striker now. So, the game before he got a goal. This game he's got an assist. If you're a fantasy Premier League manager, I think he's 5.5 million. So could be a snip. Brighton do make a lot of chances. That Liverpool back four, I do feel sorry for them. Neco Williams, I think he's struggled quite a bit at right back. I don't think we'll be seeing him again. But we'll see what happens. Jordan Henderson, you can just see the class he uses. When he came onto that pitch, it was a different game. Like Liverpool, they looked hungry. They looked like that first 20 minutes of that second half, they looked like a Liverpool team, like a Jurgen Klopp team. It's 2 points dropped. Is it going to make a big difference come the end of the season? We shall see. I think Man City are creeping up now, so Liverpool need to stop the rot per se with regards to that.
Well, I have to. Yeah. Oh yeah, I was going to bring on his Jota. If you asked me last year what does Diego Jota look like, I'd be like, I wouldn't even know how to describe him. But he's now there. He's up there now. I can see him playing for Barcelona and Real Madrid in a few years' time. Honestly, yeah, he's used that Liverpool as a stepping stone onto the next big stage. He's a great player. Honestly, what a finish! What a finish!
Yeah, I don't think many Liverpool fans are going to be happy hearing that from you, but I agree. I personally think Jota was the exact sort of player that Manchester United should have gone for, but unfortunately it didn't happen. So here we are, Liverpool, with an incredible signing, and I think he's only still like 22, so best years ahead of him.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Especially like a player like Coutinho comes to Liverpool, next stage. Suarez, next stage. They've used Liverpool as a stepping stone.
Yeah.
And we're going to go on to the next fixture, which was Manchester City 5, Burnley 0. What did you make of Man City, Azad?
Well, I want to say Riyad Mahrez. What a player. Hat-trick, 4 goals and 7 appearances. Overall, Man City, they stepped it up. Going into the game, they were questioned about where the goals. They dried up, sitting in 14th, 11th position or 14th. And, they really brought their A game against Burnley. But to be honest, you expected it. Last 3 games against Burnley at the City, that City was 5-0, wasn't it? Last 3. So I expected that, especially the first goal went in 6 minutes. The second goal went in quite quick after. You just knew it was going to be a 5-0 game again. But yeah, that is a City. Hopefully, they're going to get up there and pick Tottenham to the top spot before Christmas. Maybe, but I don't want Tottenham to win the title, so I'm really rooting for City this year or Liverpool, but I can't see Liverpool getting it. But Man City, I think they're, they're putting their foot down now.
I completely agree with you. I think we mentioned Riyad Mahrez, but Kevin De Bruyne is sparkling again. He's getting the assists. And I think they've got a really good player in Ferran Torres. I've personally got in my FPL team. Frustrated that he got subbed off after like 66 minutes, but he's starting to look like a really good player now, and somebody that might potentially play up front if Jesus doesn't play well. I think Aguero is almost fit. And finally for Pep, I know he spent about £500 million on defenders, but they've got a back 4 that they can actually use. Benjamin Mendy played for the first time in a while and took his goal really well as well. I was very surprised about that. And obviously Ruben Diaz, he's just slotted in perfectly. He looks like a real menace. Like, there's something about him that reminds me a little bit about Nemanja Vidic. People will probably slate me for saying that, but he just looks like he's a no-nonsense, going to kick the shit out of you sort of centre-back. And, that's what I really like in a centre-back. So I think Manchester City might have actually got a real coup there. So
Special mention about John Stones. He played very well against Burnley. Won a lot of headers, aerial battles. So I'm glad to see an English defender back in, especially in time for Euros. So
true. We'll see what happens when Laporte's back, but can John Stones keep his place? We'll keep an eye out for that. So the next result is a result, Everton 0, Leeds 1, that Azad probably didn't see because he likes mentioning that Leeds like to concede a lot of goals, doesn't he? So what do you have to say about that result, Azad?
I have to say, I watched that game, and I'm so glad the games are now back on now for free. Well, on Sky Sports. So Leeds, great going forward, and Rafinha. Oh my God, yeah, I'm looking forward to watching him in the next few months. Leeds they're going to be entertaining. They're going to concede goals, like I said, but they're going to score goals as well. But they got a great clean sheet and kept out Calvert-Lewin, which was great. But Leeds going forward, they break at such speed, and I love that about them. They're taking the game to the opposition, not just defending like all the other newly promoted teams does. So I really quite enjoyed that. So that game, it was good. It was a good watch, but if I knew it was going to be 1-0, probably wouldn't have watched it, to be fair. But I'm just grateful that the games are back on now for free. And this is one of the games I managed to catch.
That's fair enough. There was a lot of chances. I'm just messing with you. Leeds probably didn't defend the best, but got away with a few different bits and pieces around that game. But yeah, good result for Leeds, climbing up the table. And is it they're marching on or something like that? They love to sing. I don't even know.
Marching on together, they say.
Marching on together. That's the one. Yeah. Had somebody in the takeaway. He came in probably 15 minutes after the game. Leeds tracksuit, Leeds face mask, Leeds top, and Leeds trainer. So just shows the passion that Leeds fans bring, and it's great to have them back in the Premier League. And I do think that's probably where they belong. And the next result we're going to go to. So this, in a way, this is joint biggest match of the weekend. West Brom 1, Sheffield United 0. What do you make of that result, Azad?
Big result for West Brom. Big result for Slaven Bilic. I kind of follow West Brom a bit because they got Kieran Gibbs playing. I want to see him doing well, ex-Arsenal. But yeah, massive result. 6-pointer that is. But they took what I don't like is they scored in the 13th minute, and Sheffield United had all that time to go up the other end and only managed to get 5 shots. So that just shows how poor Sheffield United are. But with our squad, they're trying. Especially, they got going forward. Yes, they have a bit of pace, but I think they're going to have to grind results out. If I'm going to be honest with you, they're going to have to grind results out. But in terms of Sheffield United, what's going on? 10 games, 1 point, 5 losses in a row. He's got to go, he's got to go.
Yeah, I mean, I stated it last time out that I thought Sheffield United would get relegated, and they make chances. This is the thing. I know they've had 5 shots, but they make some really good chances, but they haven't got a striker. Last week out, Ollie McBurney smashed the bar. This week, same old Sheffield. David McGoldrick, was it from 6 yards out? Volleyed over. And at the end of the day, if you're not going to take your chances, you're going to get relegated. We're going to mention it so many times on this show. If you can't score, you're going to go down. And that is Sheffield United in a nutshell for you, all right? They're gone. Like what?
21 shots, 5 shots on target.
They're gone. Okay. They're gone. Sheffield United fans, I don't think there are going to be many watching this show, if any, but you're gone. All right. So we'll go to the next result. Big result for my team. So Southampton 2, Manchester United 3. I don't even care, Azad, what you want to say. I'm going to talk about this one. Edinson Cavani. We said he's going to be a big player, all right? He's a top striker, and I think this Southampton performance shows what he's all about. That tactical nous around the box and in the box, especially the 6-yard box. There probably isn't a better striker in that sense in the Premier League right now. Werner's not. Mane and Salah are wingers, and they're fantastic, but, just he anticipates that Fernandes shot might go around there, nods it in. And then the Rashford cross, I mean, I think 9 out of 10 strikers in the Premier League missed that chance. But A, he gets into the position, but B, the way he connects to the header and gets it past the goalkeeper, that's a true striker. People said he was going to be a flop like Falcao, but if he does anything like Saturday, he's going to be a hit. So, Azad, I'm going to go to you. What do you think about that performance? And tell me a bit more about Southampton.
I prepped my notes for Man United, to be honest. Southampton, great team, 2-0 up. But I watched the game. It was a 2 o'clock kickoff, and I knew Man United are going to get back into it. That is what Man United are. They can get back into it. Not many teams do that, do they? Go 2-0 down nowadays and get back into it. I've now watched Man United do it 2-3 times over the last couple of seasons. Do you remember the one against Palace at Southwest Park? They're 2-0 down, come back to win 3-2. Man United have that in them. They have that in them, and I think it's just Man United for you. I've watched them come back from 1-0 down so many times over the last 20 years, and it's the same United team. But with Southampton, James Ward-Prowse, what can you say, eh? Great player, great set-piece taker. If we could have him, coming on last 10 minutes for England at a European Championship game, got a free kick, we're going to score, I'm telling you right now. But we've got a great player in him. Really looking forward to how he's developed at a very late age now. So I'm not sure how old he is, but he's definitely not a youngster. I think he's 26, but I'd have to double check that. But a great player. With Southampton, they're just unlucky. They're against a good United team. Yeah. A great United team.
I agree with you. I think United are now starting to show that bit of character. Obviously, Southampton are missing Danny Ings, which may have caused other problems. But Che Adams, a bit of a beast. He bullied the United backline. And I like what you say about James Ward-Prowse. I do actually want him to go to the Euros. And it's not just the the free kicks, but the corners. His deliveries are just incredible. Absolutely incredible. So yeah, that's Southampton, Man United for you. And I think the next game was probably the game, or what should have been the game of the weekend. Chelsea versus Tottenham, 0-0. What did you make of that, Azad?
Well, you kind of expected it because it's Jose Mourinho, away at a big side. They used the same game plan against Man City, tried soaking up the pressure, hitting a Chelsea on the counter-attack. They did that very well in the first half. Second half, though, I'm not sure if you noticed, but Chelsea finished on top. It was all Chelsea. But I think it's more of the know-how of the players. So I think as the games go on, Tottenham Hotspur players will get that Jose Mourinho influence. They'll know how to be nasty. Like he said in that Amazon Prime videos, how you got to be a bit more nastier. I'm not going to swear on this, but that's what he said. Right? And I can see that going to come on. And I think Tottenham I'm scared, Shad. I'm scared of Tottenham. We got them on in a couple of weeks' time, and
I think
I'm not
it's
looking
next
forward
week,
to
you
them.
know.
Yeah, it's the 6th. Yeah, so it's definitely it's next week. But I kind of expected a 0-0. Great game, you know, great tactical game. But yeah, it's a good game.
I'm going to agree with you. I thought it was going to be 0-0, and I did put Harry Kane on my bench for the FPL. And that's what happened. And it was a perfect Mourinho masterclass. You don't want to lose away to your top 6 rivals, and he's done that. And I'll tell you why Chelsea finished above Tottenham towards the end of that game. A certain player, Ndombele. Tanguy Ndombele, for me, I think it's the first player I've seen since N'Golo Kante has come to the Premier League. I don't think I've seen him be bullied by anyone until Ndombele this weekend. And he was a handful. He was a really handful. Like when Spurs paid all that money last season and, you know, he wasn't performing, I'll be completely honest, I was hoping United put a cheeky bid in and try and nick him. They didn't, which is a big shame. And now, I think Mourinho didn't play much last season, but now we're starting to see the best of Ndombele. And I'm telling you, he's a real threat. He's a real presence. And he's not just great defensively, he's great offensively as well. Can pick a pass. He's really, really intelligent. If they keep him fit, guaranteed top 4, and I think they might push for the league title. So that's the guy to watch out for from my point of view. The most exciting player in the Spurs squad right now. Maybe when Bale is fully fit, he might become that. But for me, Tanguy Ndombele, what a player. So the next result, Azad. Arsenal 1, Wolverhampton Wanderers 2. And, you know, I don't even know what to say, man. What do you want to say about it? Talk to me.
Wow. I don't know where to start, really. I'm frustrated. I really am with Arsenal. But, you know, I need to be biased, right, for this podcast, for this vlog, right? I'm going to say Wolves played very well. Okay, you would have thought Wolves would have defended and then hit Arsenal on counter. It wasn't. They literally pushed on Arsenal, and that's how they got their goals through. It was 2 rebounds, if you remember, wasn't it? So the first goal, it was a cross. He headed it. Bar came out, scored the rebound. That great touch, that little flick over.
The Podence.
Yeah, Podence, Daniel Podence, great goal. Second goal, again, rebound. So, you know, it's great result, great performance by Wolves. But Arsenal, I just don't know what's happening. They're lacking that creativity. They're going forward, then they pass it backwards to Xhaka, and Xhaka then passes it sideways. It's I don't know what's happening there. Like, I can understand why they never chose Ozil. I don't know what's going on there because Ozil's supporting Arsenal on social media. He never did that before. But now, I don't know what's happening. I really don't know what's happening with Arsenal, but they're saying they're missing a creative midfielder. That's what the pundits are saying. But when Ozil plays, he gets slated. So, he can't win. And, you know, that's... Yeah.
Arteta demands that work rate, but unfortunately, it doesn't matter how hard you work. If you ain't going to make chances and you ain't going to get shots off, you're not going to win games. You know, free Ozil. Look here, man. We're going to say it week in, week out. Free Ozil. Just let the guy play. Doesn't matter about the politics in the background. Just let him play. Let him do his thing on the pitch. Because Arsenal look like a shambles. There's a reason why he was getting paid 350k a week. It's because he makes the chances, and not just any old chances. He makes big chances for big players. Aubameyang has completely dropped off. You know, they've sacked something like 58 employees to pay for Aubameyang's wages. But you know,
the Gunnosaurus.
I just want to say, Gunnosaurus, man.
Yeah, I just want to say about Willian. Yeah, he was great at Chelsea, but he's not a starter, Shad. He is not a starter. He's a player you come off the bench as an impact sub. Definitely, he's got that ability to do it, but he's not a starter. I don't think he started that many games. Well, he started for Chelsea, but I think towards the end he was coming off the bench. But Arsenal used him as a primary player. What I don't like about, I'm sorry to go on. I know we don't want to give too much time to Arsenal, but they're playing Kieran Tierney in a back 3. He's a wing back. He's got a great left foot, and he was linking up quite well with Aubameyang towards the end of the season. But for some reason, they're playing him in that back 3. But you know, I don't know really. Hector Bellerin, can't cross a road. You just next time you watch Arsenal, just watch Hector Bellerin. He's not a footballer. He's not a footballer. Once Arsenal don't renew his contract, I'll be surprised if he goes to another big club.
I don't know. Didn't he create like one really big chance in the last game? Crossed it across the box, and then Arsenal fluffed it.
One chance. More chances
than the rest of the team.
I could do that. I could do that.
More chances than the rest of the team put together. You had one goal from a corner. That Bellerin chance they created was probably the best chance of your game. And that's after Wolves lost their best player. You know, get well soon, Jimenez. But like, you guys, if you're not going to capitalize once Jimenez is not playing, then you didn't deserve even a point.
No.
Don't deserve a point. Wolves had even more left in the bank. I felt they probably could have scored a few more as well. So, Arsenal will be grateful you guys only lost 2-1. As Roy Keane said, got enough to stay up. But what will happen if Aubameyang gets injured? Maybe you won't stay up.
Wow, yeah.
Nah, I'm just messing. I'm messing. So we'll go on to the next result. Leicester 1, Fulham 2. Do you think this is a shock result of the weekend?
Definitely, 110%. I'm so gutted I missed that game. I just wanted to see how Leicester performed. But I watched the highlights, but it definitely was a shock for me. When I saw that, I had to refresh it, thinking, yeah, Leicester's got this at the King Power. Definitely. But yeah, it was a shock result. But Fulham, they're showing their grit. They went 2-0 up and defended. Finally scored a penalty after missing the last two, which cost them points. But they finally scored a penalty. But you can see Fulham 2 wins out of the last 5. City next though.
Yeah, City next. I think Scott Parker's done a good job, hasn't he, to regroup that bunch of players. They're going to get smashed every now and then, and I think the game against City, they will get smashed. But against the mid-table teams, I can see Fulham now picking up points. And maybe, just maybe, there's light at the end of the tunnel. I think they'll finish above Sheffield United. They'll finish above West Brom. And now they're going to be battling for that 17th place. So, if Scotty Parker keeps doing what he's doing, because he's clearly doing something around the training ground. Like, the players are much more defensively, like, they've got better shape. They're not like causing as many mistakes. I think you mentioned how Michael Hector was playing at the start. He's obviously gone.
Bombed off.
Yeah, actually got a chance. They might stay up. I think the only thing I'll say is Arsenal were lucky to play him at the start of the season. Otherwise, they'd have 3 less points on the board.
Yep. I also want to see how Ruben Loftus-Cheek gets on with Fulham as well. So he played in the World Cup for England a couple of years ago, and he's dropped off the radar. But now he's back at Fulham. Well, now he's back playing. See how he gets on. And I want to say good luck to him.
We'll keep an eye on him for future weeks. And Azad will watch a few more Fulham games by the looks of things. So the next game and the final game of the weekend, West Ham 2, Aston Villa 1. Before you say anything, I just want to say congratulations to David Moyes. He has done an absolutely incredible job. And for me right now, he is manager of the season. The fixtures that they've had, the results that they've got, the performances that they've delivered, it's just been phenomenal. I know they might have got a bit of a helping hand from VAR, but they have been fantastic. And you can just tell that they play for not just West Ham, but they play for David Moyes as well. He's gelled that team. Fantastic performances. Azad, I'll just go over to you. What do you think of West Ham and Villa?
I second that. David Moyes, I'm lucky enough to remember how he was at Everton in his early stage, especially when Everton did really well and got into the Champions League, but unfortunately got knocked out in the qualifying stages. And Everton, they're a hard team to beat, and I think that he's making that West Ham team his own. He only had one opportunity, didn't he, a few years back, if you remember. But now he's taking this opportunity. Do you remember at the start of the season when there was an issue with Mark Noble? Something was going on at the start of the season, and the pundits were saying, that's it, West Ham going relegated. What a sham start. But, 5th. They won the last 3 games. Very good. They seem organised. They've got good individual players. It's just coming together, right? So they got great individual players. Obviously, they got Mikel Antonio back, which, is a massive miss, but they've got him back, but they've managed to win games in the last few games. But Declan Rice in the middle, captain, great player. He's patrolling that midfield. going forward, you've got Jared Bowen, as I mentioned in the last video. Great player, honestly. So West Ham, I think they get hidden package. They are 5th. Yeah. That's great. I'm really glad for West Ham, and West Ham that fans deserve it.
That's it. So you mentioned Jared Bowen. I actually took him out of my FPL team. He was kind of due, so he got a goal and assist. Good for you, Jared, but shame on you for not doing it for me. So yeah, we'll just quickly recap the results. So Crystal Palace 0, Newcastle 2, Brighton 1, Liverpool 1, Manchester City 5, Burnley 0, Everton 0, Leeds 1, West Brom 1, Sheffield 0, Southampton 2, Manchester United 3, Chelsea 0, Spurs 0, Arsenal 1, Wolves 2, Leicester 1, Fulham 2, West Ham 2, Aston Villa 1. We've seen a few ups and downs in the table, and the top 4 and the big teams are starting to push up now. Who would you think, out of all the teams that you've seen, is most likely to break into that top 6?
I want to say Leicester, but they're inconsistent. Inconsistent at the moment, and they fell off, didn't they, last season? They were in the Champions League spot and they fell away. But I'd really like to see West Ham maybe break into the top 6, get into that Europa League position, get some European football at their new stadium. That's what they wanted, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's a golden
who's
opportunity.
Dropping out?
Who's dropping out? What, from this current top 6?
No, the official top 6.
Yeah.
Arsenal, Man United, Manchester City, Liverpool, Chelsea, and Spurs. Who's dropping out of that top 6?
I'm going to say Arsenal. It's going to be a car crash season this season.
Yeah, I just wanted to hear it from you, but want to thank you very much for your time, Azad. It's been a really good game week. Obviously, VAR is starting to ruin things, but hopefully, in the future, VAR gets scrapped, because we don't want to see the offside decisions that Ollie Watkins has to suffer. Maybe if it happens to Sadio Mane, it's all right, but to the smaller clubs, it definitely hurts more.
I've just got one thing to say about VAR. I think they should scrap it, but not altogether, but only use it for offside. So if you've scored from an offside position, but a liner has missed it, go to VAR. If you've scored from an onside position, but a liner has flagged it off, go to VAR. That's it. That's all it should be used for. Simple.
All right. Yeah, that's true. That's true. So just before we finish, just a quick little teaser for you. Leave your answers in the comment. Which player has played with these 3 goalkeepers? Alisson, Manuel Neuer, and Jack Butland. Let me know your answers in the comments. Thank you very much for watching, everybody, and we'll see you soon. Take care.